Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Jalen Wright burst onto the scene in his rookie campaign with the Miami Dolphins, showcasing explosiveness and vision that had fans and analysts alike excited about his future in the league. Early in the 2024 season, it seemed like the Dolphins had struck gold in the backfield. Wright was electric, hitting holes with confidence, making defenders miss, and picking up chunks of yardage that turned drives into touchdowns. But then, as the season wore on and games became more physically demanding, something shifted. Over the final 5 games of the year, Wright carried the ball just 9 times and picked up a total of only 6 yards. From rising star to almost invisible, his late season fade left many wondering, what happened? Was it injury, fatigue, coaching decisions? One thing was clear, Wright wasn't the same player at the end of the year as he was at the start. And heading into 2025, he's making sure that doesn't happen again. During this offseason, Wright took a long look in the mirror and decided change was necessary, not just in performance, but in preparation. He knew that if he wanted to be the kind of running back who plays at a high level from week 1 through week 18, his body had to be ready to withstand the grind of an NFL season. That's why, instead of disappearing into the background during the offseason like some young players tend to do, Wright went all in. He focused on conditioning, strength training, and fine-tuning every detail of his physique. According to the man himself, the work has already paid off. I probably added about 6 pounds, Wright said, clearly proud of the transformation. I lost a lot of body fat. I gained a lot of muscle. If you've seen him recently, you know exactly what he's talking about. He looks stronger, more solid, more like a player ready to handle 20 carries a game in December. But physical preparation is only part of the battle. Wright has also been sharpening his mental approach to the game. After all, being an NFL running back isn't just about speed and strength. It's about endurance, resilience, and understanding the wear and tear that comes with the territory. That's why he's taken it upon himself to mentor this year's rookie class, passing down some hard-earned wisdom. It's a long season, Wright told the newcomers. Take care of your body because you never know when the opportunity is going to come. Those words hit different when they come from someone who's lived it. He's not speaking in hypotheticals. He's been through the highs of being featured in the game plan and the lows of wondering when his next touch will come. Now he wants to make sure the next wave of Dolphins doesn't make the same mistakes he did or overlook the importance of staying ready. Still, there's an elephant in the room. Why exactly did Jalen Wright vanish from the Dolphins offense? Late last year? Was it a coaching decision? Was he banged up? Did he lose the trust of the staff? On that front, Wright is keeping it classy. I'm playing it cool. I'm not going to say I got it, he said when asked about the lack of clarity. From coaches. Things happen. Control what I can control. That's a mature answer, especially from a second-year player. There's no finger pointing, no passive-aggressive comments, just a firm acknowledgement that the past is the past. And maybe, just maybe, he understands now that the NFL isn't always going to give you explanations. Sometimes you're just out. No warning, no heads up, just out. That's part of the business, and Wright seems determined not to let himself get caught off guard again. To understand Jalen Wright's mindset heading into 2025, you've got to look beyond the surface. Stats and headlines. Yes, he had a quiet end to 2024, but that experience has become the fuel for a redemption arc that could define his sophomore season. He's not just looking to get back into the rotation. He wants to be a key contributor, the kind of back who gets leaned on when the team needs to grind out a win in the fourth quarter. And the Dolphins are going to need that. With question marks still lingering around their offensive line and depth at the running back position, having a prepared, durable, and motivated Wright could be the difference between a playoff push and another frustrating finish. This isn't just about redemption. It's about transformation. From a talented rookie with potential to a professional who delivers every single week. What makes Wright's story so compelling is that he's taken full ownership of his role in last season's late fade. He didn't blame the scheme. He didn't call out the coaches. Instead, he took it as a challenge, a wake-up call. He understood that in this league, talent only gets you so far. You got to put in the work, day in and day out, or someone else will take your spot. And that's what separates the good from the great in the NFL. Wright might have been humbled by how last season ended, but he wasn't broken. If anything, it lit a fire under him. Now, he's coming back not just with a stronger body, but a clearer purpose. And in a crowded Dolphins backfield, that mindset might be exactly what elevates him above the competition when the snaps start to matter. You talk to people around the Dolphins organization, and you hear the same thing. Jalen Wright is locked in. Coaches have taken notice of his off-season work ethic. Teammates are starting to see him not just as a playmaker, but as a leader, a guy who's setting the tone in the weight room and in meetings. That kind of internal growth is what often precedes a breakout season. You see it every year. Players who mature, get serious about their craft, and suddenly everything clicks. If Wright can carry that off-season momentum into training camp and the preseason, there's a real chance he could start climbing back up the depth chart quickly. And with Miami's offense designed around speed and versatility, Wright's skill set fits like a glove. All he needs is the opportunity, and this time, he's determined not to let it slip away. The question now is how Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins coaching staff plan to utilize Wright in 2025. With Raheem Mostert getting older and Devon Achane still developing, there's certainly room for Wright to carve out a significant role. But in Miami's fast-paced multi-back system, consistency is king. It's not just about making the big play. It's about doing the little things right every play. Pass protection, ball security, route running. These are the areas Wright has reportedly improved the most in during the offseason. If that's true, and if he shows it on the field during camp, the Dolphins might not have any choice but to give him more touches. And let's be honest, a locked-in Jalen Wright with fresh legs and something to prove? That's a dangerous weapon to have coming out of the backfield. Wright's resurgence isn't just important for him, it's crucial for the Dolphins' offense as a whole. Last season, Miami struggled to maintain offensive rhythm late in games, particularly when they needed to control the clock or wear down opposing defenses. Having a back who can deliver in those moments would take pressure off Tua Tagovailoa and give this team a level of balance they lacked at times in 2024. Wright's ability to make defenders miss, combined with newfound strength and endurance, could make him the perfect change of pace back or even a late-season workhorse. He's no longer the wide-eyed rookie learning the ropes. He's a second-year player with a chip on his shoulder and a clear understanding of what it takes to survive and thrive in this league. And that kind of player is exactly what Miami needs if they want to take the next step in 2025. So when training camp kicks off and the pads come on, keep an eye on number 23. You'll notice the difference right away. Not just in his frame, but in his demeanor. Jalen Wright isn't just back. He's better, stronger, and more focused than ever. He knows what it feels like to be the guy on the sideline watching others get the call. And he's hell-bent on making sure that doesn't happen again. His message to the team, to the fans, and to himself is clear. Last year was just the beginning. This year, he's ready to run through the finish line. And if he gets the touches, don't be surprised if Jalen Wright becomes one of the biggest comeback stories of the NFL season. Because in a league that forgets you fast, Wright is ready to remind everyone exactly who he is. And this time, he plans to do it all the way to Week 18. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? Something's brewing down in Miami, and it's not just the beachside cocktails or another heat wave. There's a different kind of storm forming in South Florida, and it's coming straight from the trenches of the NFL. Word on the street is that Nick Bosa, yes, that Nick Bosa, has reportedly agreed to terms with the Miami Dolphins. If the buzz proves true, we're about to witness something that hasn't happened since their Ohio State days. The Bosa brothers wreaking havoc side by side on an NFL field. This isn't just a free agency signing. It's a statement, a declaration of war against opposing quarterbacks. With Joey Bosa already donning the aqua and orange after his recent blockbuster trade, the idea of Nick joining forces with his older brother in Miami feels like a Marvel crossover episode, one the AFC might not survive. And trust me, the league is already nervous. Now let's rewind for a second, because none of this happened out of nowhere. For weeks now, insiders close to the Dolphins front office have been whispering about a potential defensive rebuild. Not because they're weak, but because they want to go from good to downright terrifying. Bringing in Joey Bosa was the first domino. The moment he landed in Miami, speculation exploded online. Was this just a smart pickup? Or was it part of a grander plan? A family reunion designed not for sentiment, but for sack totals. Dolphins. Fans, you're not dreaming. The Bosa Bowl might actually be coming to Hard Rock Stadium. And let's not pretend this is a normal sibling pairing. These aren't just two NFL players who share a last name. These are two former Defensive Rookie of the Year winners, both Pro Bowlers, both absolute nightmares for offensive coordinators. Imagine the playbook options when you've got Nick crashing off one edge and Joey terrorizing from the other. Offensive, lines would need divine intervention, not just double teams. It's like giving a shark a twin and dropping both in the same tank. With Vic Fangio rumored to be returning to Miami as a consultant and a defensive-minded coaching staff already. In place, this could be the perfect laboratory for some diabolical schemes. Two Bosa brothers in their prime with the same hunger and freak athleticism? That's a cheat code. And let's not ignore how much this move would electrify the Dolphins' locker room. This isn't just a defensive boost. It's a cultural shift. A signal that Miami isn't satisfied with playoff appearances anymore. They want a Super Bowl window, and they want it now. And if you're wondering whether the chemistry between the Bosa brothers might take time to develop, forget it. These guys have been training together their entire lives. They've got matching footwork, identical explosion off the line, and an almost telepathic understanding of one another's tendencies. Watch their Ohio State tapes, and you'll see glimpses of what might be coming to the NFL. The idea of recreating that in the pros has always felt like a fantasy. But now, with Nick reportedly committed to joining Joey in Miami, that fantasy could become a weekly highlight reel. It's not just Dolphins fans who are getting excited. Neutral observers, fantasy football players, and even rival defenders are quietly admitting this could be one of the most terrifying duos the league has ever seen. Oh, of course, nothing's official until the ink dries. And let's be clear, this is still swirling in the realm of speculation. Sources are saying Nick Bosa's deal is close, but not finalized. Some insiders claim he's already house hunting in Miami, while others say it's all smoke to push San Francisco's hand in restructuring his contract. But if there's one thing we've learned from modern NFL rumors, where there's smoke, there's usually a Bosa-sized fire behind it. And in this case, that fire might be fueled by more than just money. Word is Nick has been quietly yearning for a change of scenery after years of giving his all in San Francisco. The opportunity to reunite with his brother while competing for a Lombardi trophy might be too perfect to pass up. And what would this mean for the AFC East? Let's just say quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and Mac Jones might want to invest in better insurance plans. Because a Bosa double team is more than just a physical threat, it's psychological warfare. The moment those two line up opposite each other, the offense is already adjusting protections, changing the game plan, and bracing for impact. Think about it. In the same division as one of the league's best corners, Jalen Ramsey, and now potentially two of the best edge rushers in the game. That's not fair. That's a defensive dream and an offensive coordinator's nightmare. This Dolphins defense, already top 10 in pressure rate last season, might be stepping into top 3 territory overnight. But let's also talk about what this means for the league narrative. We're in an era where elite players are teaming up more frequently, chasing rings, rewriting legacies, and changing the way we view loyalty. The Bosa brothers joining forces isn't just a football move, it's a brand move. Two of the league's most marketable names playing under the same banner. Expect jersey sales to skyrocket, social media to explode, and Dolphins games to start. Pulling national primetime slots is the kind of spectacle the NFL thrives on, and you better believe the league office is watching this closely. This isn't just about sacks and stats, it's about storytelling, and there's no story better than two brothers on a mission for glory. Now for the skeptics out there, yes, there are salary cap concerns. The Dolphins are already balancing some big contracts, and adding Nick Bosa's expected mega deal would require some financial gymnastics. But this is the modern NFL, where there's a will and a good enough cap strategist. There's always a way. Restructures, bonuses, void years, backloaded deals. Teams find a path when the prize is worth it. And in this case, we're talking about forming the most dangerous pass rushing tandem of the decade. If the front office believes this is their Super Bowl moment, expect them to pull every lever necessary to make it happen. The question isn't can they afford Nick Bosa, it's can they afford not to make this happen? So Dolphins Nation, hold on to your fins. The rumors are swirling, the whispers are growing louder, and the NFL world is on high alert. If this becomes official, you'll be looking at a defense capable of winning a championship on its own. Tua and the offense would finally get the breathing room they need. No more shootouts, no more last-minute heroics, just pure unrelenting pressure from both sides of the line. If Nick Bosa signs, if the brothers unite, this could be the start of a dynasty, or at the very least the most feared pass rush combo in modern memory. Stay tuned, because if you thought the Dolphins were dangerous before, just wait until the Bosa brothers start feeding off each other. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow. Dolphins fan, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!